What's going on, guys? So first off, I apologize about the lighting because I've got the lighting up here set up to show you what I'm about to show you, and I'm too lazy to move it to get a good shot of my face, which nobody really wants to see anyway. So with that being said, this video is going to be about this thing. This is the Bevel Jig from White Bone Knives. Now, I don't really want to call this video a review. I want to call it an overview because I'm not a knife making bevel jig expert. This is basically the second knife maker's jig that I've used. Let me show you the first one. This is the first one. Piece of angle iron with a bolt drilled and tapped through it to adjust the angle. So when this showed up in the mail from White Bone Knives, they sent this to me for a review, by the way, just to get that out of the way. I was in shock about how heavy duty this thing was. That was kind of the first thing that really stood out to me when I opened the package. Was this thing is built like a tank and it's built to survive a nuclear blast. And after using it for about, I don't know, 50 knives at this point, I think I can say for certain that you know, this thing is very well made. It hasn't changed in the slightest since I first opened it up. I guess we'll just give you a quick overview on how this thing works, or at least how I use it. Now, keep in mind, this might not be exactly how it was originally designed to be used, but this is just how I use it, and it seems to be working out pretty good for me. So let me show you how quickly we can get this thing set up for grinding. So this is an old practice blade I made years ago, and basically what we're going to do is we have these jaws set up so that the blade slips in and out of here fairly easily. We will go ahead and actually we'll put this in the jig first, then we'll put the blade in. And then all we have to do is no messing around with clamps, is tighten down this very grippy clamping knob here in the back, and we're basically ready to grind. I mean, it's that easy. And one of the things that I really like about this jig as opposed to some of the other jigs out there is that we can switch directions super quickly without messing around with screws and all kinds of weird stuff. So in order to switch directions, we loosen the knob and we're back to grinding. I mean, it's that fast. And as far as clamping force goes, this thing clamps down tight. I mean, you can really get a really tight clamp on this. Yeah, I mean, switching directions for me is super important because I'm constantly going from one side to the other, and some of the other bevel jigs on the market, you can't switch directions super quickly. So that was a huge selling point for me when I first started looking at jigs, was, you know, how fast does it switch directions? And this thing is about as fast as I think you could possibly get for a jig. All right, guys, so I'm going to be kind of like Wilson here, showing this to you from Home Improvement. But let me show you the barrel style. My camera's going to go crazy trying to focus too. The barrel style angle adjustment system on here. So we've got two Allen screws on the back here, Allen bolts. One of these is fixed in place, so this one doesn't turn. This one is fixed in place, and it simply holds this like a hinge. So the way that you adjust this is you put your Allen wrench in one side, you loosen it, and you just adjust your angle like this. Now, a nice thing about this barrel style adjuster is that a lot of movement on the barrel adjuster only adjusts the angle up here a small amount. So you have a fair amount of precision with this, even though it might not seem like it. Once you have your angle, you just tighten this down. You don't have to, you know, really bear down on it. Just tighten it down a little bit, and I've never had this move on me. It even has some super aggressive knurling on the back here so that you have some grip, because you know, once this thing gets all wet and covered in metal shavings, it can be hard to grip. So this is kind of nice too. Sorry guys, my camera died. It actually overheated because it's really hot here. But essentially what I was saying is that with this jig, you might not get the precision that you get with some of the other jigs, but you have to remember that some of those other jigs with the dial indicators and whatnot are extremely expensive. You know, well over $450, $500 for some of them. This is a fairly simple jig. It's still fairly expensive, but you have to remember that This is made from aluminum and stainless steel, and it's handmade. It's not one of those things that's shipped in from China and then has a huge markup on it. It's handmade, and you're supporting a small business when you buy one of these. So keep that in mind when you are looking at the price. It is very well made. The little bit of rust that you do see on here, you might be able to see, is just from the metal shavings and particulate getting stuck in there and then rusting. I basically didn't clean this a whole lot because I'm lazy. And I'm telling you, this thing probably weighs, I don't have my scale with me, but I don't know, maybe it might weigh 2 pounds. I might be exaggerating a little bit there, but super, super heavy duty, and I definitely think it's gonna last a lifetime, maybe even 3. So another thing that I really like about this barrel style adjuster is you only have 2 points of contact. You have this point back here and you have this point here. Now that's important because if you had a flat bottom like this, let's just pretend this is the flat bottom of some of those other jigs, it doesn't ride so well on a work rest that has all kinds of metal shavings and whatnot built up on it. I used to have to keep a brush next to my grinder because what I would do is I would use a piece of angle iron like this, and I'd clamp my blade to it like this, and let's pretend that this wasn't here, and I would just ride this. Actually, let's do it like this. So I'd clamp it like this, and then I would just simply angle my work rest, and then take the flat portion of this bevel guide and set that on my work rest and move it back and forth. But the problem I'd run into is that the work rest would get dirty, all kinds of stuff would get built up under here, and it wouldn't slide back and forth super easily. It would just be like real gritty, and it would show up in my grind lines. The nice thing about this is that you don't have that problem with those 2 points of contact. So one of the things that I want to touch on real quick is the stock work rest on my AMK 77 isn't quite big enough for this bevel jig, meaning that if I set the jig on here and I started grinding, you see just how close, this work rest is to being too small. And it really is too small, because as you're moving this across, you can easily slip off the back here and make a boo-boo. What I've had to do, what I've been doing, is I just use a piece of scrap steel that I had laying around. I really need to get an actual platen extension from somewhere. Get a nice super flat piece of steel made up as a work rest extension, but this is what I've been using. So one more thing that I want to touch on real quick is that this jig isn't super good for very large knives like this. Now it will definitely clamp them and hold them in place securely, but the problem you're going to run into is that with large blade lengths like this, by the time you end up grinding out here towards the tip, you can run into problems with, because the blade's so long, you have a lot of leverage out here, and you're going to need to support it with your other hand, and at that point, I'm not real sure how much this jig is going to help you. So that's about everything that I wanted to touch on about this bevel jig. It's a very well-made bevel jig. It's a very well-made product. Very heavy duty, could probably survive a nuclear blast. Let's hope we never find out. And it's one of those things that, quite frankly, I haven't really thought about that much since I got it. Before, when I was using this thing, I'd think about bevel jigs all the time, and I'd constantly be researching them and trying to figure out which one I wanted to buy. And then when this one showed up, that all stopped. I stopped thinking about it. I just put my knife in there, adjust the angle, and start grinding. And it works really, really well. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely other jigs out there that I think might offer a little bit better precision. But to tell you the truth, I don't know. I've never used those. This one has all the precision that I need, at least at this point in time. I don't really want to get into the whole, jig versus freehand thing. I use jigs. I also freehand. I think there's pluses and minuses to both. And buying a jig isn't something that's going to turn you into a master knife maker overnight. This is not one of those things that is going to... this still requires skill to use, we'll put it that way. And it takes practice to use. So don't be under the impression that you're going to buy this and your grinds and all of that other good stuff is just going to improve dramatically the second you start using this. There's a learning curve to this, just like there's a learning curve to this, just like there's a learning curve to freehand, just like there's a learning curve to learning your grinder and the belts that you're using. And in fact, if you're having problems with grind lines, a lot of the times it's because of the belt that you're using, not because of the jig. But what this does is it allows me to have a lot of repeatability, especially in my Scandi grinds. This isn't the best one to show you, but I'll try and roll in some B-roll and show you what this is capable of. And for me, for these smaller bevels like Scandis, I like using a jig like this as opposed to freehanding because I just get better grind lines using a jig than I do freehanding. I know there's people who can freehand grind Scandis. I've done a handful of them myself and they've turned out okay, but I'm a lot faster using this. And I think that's because with these smaller bevels, you just don't have that much bevel to sit onto the platen. So you don't have a whole lot of feel as far as that goes. Another thing I want to mention here real quick is that I've done some really, really weird knives with this bevel jig. Grinds and bevels that I'm not even sure you could do safely freehand. So check it out. If you have any questions about this bevel jig, you can certainly ask me. I will say that it's probably going to be better to contact Whitebone Knives and ask them about any questions pertaining to the bevel jig. If you have any questions about using this thing in the real world, you can certainly ask me in the comments and I will try and get back to you. It's been hard for me to get back to all the comments lately, so I apologize if I missed your comment. And if I do and you really need to know something, I try and contact Whitebone Knives. But I'd highly recommend this, and hopefully I won't think about this for a long time. I'm just going to keep on using it and keep on making knives. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.